This is a short story for an old friend, the Reverie. Lorimar Yankovech, Larry Yankovech, my old friend, passed away not too long ago. A couple months ago, I guess. I guess looking at it now, being an old man of 65, I remember why Lorimar. We called him Lorimar. His real name being Larry, and how he made me laugh. We had taken a trip once, slept in the State Fairgrounds. The police chased us out, and we had to walk home 3 o'clock in the morning. And we walked by a farm, and we stole 2 carrots. We were so hungry. We grew up together. He lived next door to us. We played pool in his basement, played Elvis Presley records. One song always reminds me of Lorimar, that being Because of Love. There was this album of Elvis's that just came out called Girls, 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 and that song was on that album he had just purchased, and the album was sitting to the left of me on a table, the record player playing that very album on that very table, and that song was playing, and he was playing the album as we played pool. Oh, I suppose I could talk on and on about Lorimar. Come on, chick, he'd say, stomping up and down on his toes. He had one webbed toe, jogging around the pool table. Let's get drunk. And we'd hit the road and look for someone to buy us a case of beer. We'd come back and sit down in his garage patio and get drunk. Oh, I'm sure his younger sister Nadine thought we were nuts, and I guess she'd be right, we were. He sure was fun. Anyhow, last night, more like this morning, November 8th, 2012, I had a dream of Lorimar. I had only seen him once in the last 50 years, which was some 25 years ago. He would be now 66 years old. Anyhow, in the dream, we had taken his car and went up into northern Minnesota, and we parked his car at a hotel and went down to a bar, and on our way back in a taxi we stopped at a gas station. I wanted to get something and lost my shoe in the gas station and was looking for it, and the taxi driver came in to ask what was the delay, and Lorimar took off in the taxi, of all things. Well, it would have been all right maybe, but we had a car, and I told the taxi driver just that we had a car, and that I just didn't understand. But if we went back to the hotel, he'd most likely find his car. Well, I woke up. That was the end of my dream. In the morning, the sun was up and the day was cool. I asked my wife to see if she could find the telephone number and address on the internet. I sensed a need to. We're in Lima, Peru, and he is in Glenwood, Minnesota, remember? And again, it's been 25 years since we talked. I was a little nervous. I called the number about 11:30 a.m. There was no response. I figured he was out to lunch with his wife. I had lunch with my wife, and after lunch I tried again. His sister answered. I explained who I was and asked if she remembered me, and she said, "Oh yeah, I think she remembered the worst of me. Back 50 years ago I was a wild one." Anyhow, I said, "Is Lorimar home? I'd like to talk to him." She hesitated. It was hard for her to speak, I noticed, nearly tongue-tied, hard for her to get the words out. I asked a second time. "He passed away," she said, with a near-cracked voice. I was standing outside by my garden. My knees started to bend, legs drop, and ankles weaken. "When did that take place?" I asked. She again hesitated. I had to ask twice. August 25th, 2012. He had cancer and other complications, and she went on to explain his wife had left him for a dear friend of his some 8 years past, and that she was living with him for the past 6 years, and he had many physical complications during this time. I myself understood quite well. It was 25 years since I had seen him, and he was at that time way overweight, drinking a lot. At that moment I had gotten a tear in my eye. The noisy neighbors drowned out some of what Nadine was trying to say, to tell me. But she was feeling freer to talk about now about this and that, but I had to bid her farewell. I liked him a lot because, well, just because he was himself. So easy to say, huh? Yes, he was a lot of fun.